Hello, Thunder Wizards. So this is the Manifestation Mastery Course video 17A. And I want to talk to you about just some basic stuff. You know, um, all of the things that we talk about when we get into the three minds and how to take action and your unconscious blocks and all of that. Sometimes we can just get too stuck in our head. So all of that information is meaningless if you don't have just some basic things going on in your life. And these are the kinds of things that anybody can tell you will help you with success, but sometimes we forget. In case you're new to this series, you can go up here to neo.thunderwizard.com and then you'll be led to where you can, if you want to be part of the Manifestation Mastery series, you can follow the links to thunderwizard.com and be a part of that. In part A, we're going to talk generally about I'll give you some suggestions, and then I have, make sure you wait till the end of the video because I have a very special technique that I want to share with you that will give you a hack directly into your nervous system, which can help you think more clearly, make clearer decisions, connect more to your intuition, and help you avoid some negative thinking, thought patterns, maybe even depression. Okay, so wait for the end of the video to hear about that. All right, so um, these are just normal, everyday things that should seem obvious to us, but sometimes we forget. And what I'm trying to get at is that in order to be successful, in order to be able to manifest your life the way you want it, your nervous system has to be functioning well. So here are just, go through this checklist with me and, ask yourself, be honest. I'm doing it too, because there are some things I can definitely improve upon. But ask yourself honestly if this applies to you and if there's any improvement that you can make in any of these areas. So, the first thing we need to do is to be able to protect the nervous system. So, the nervous system has a strong connection to the energy system of the body. So, in the yogic system, we have the nadis, which are connected to the nervous system and having to do with the flow of kundalini in the body. And this is incredibly important to be able to have the psychic connection. And I don't mean psychic just in the woo woo. I mean psychic in terms of the personality, in terms of your psyche. These have a strong connection to the nadis, the kundalini energy channels. And this is why, by the way, when people have kundalini psychosis, this is why they have the psychosis part, because kundalini psychosis means that the nervous system is being stimulated by kundalini, and there's a lot of blocks and or toxins in there. And since kundalini is associated with the psyche, this is why people who are suffering challenging, they think it's kundalini awakening. It's actually kundalini cleansing. It's kundalini psychosis. This is why they suffer that and why they have delusions and all kinds of emotional ups and downs. It's because the nervous system has a strong connection to our psyche, to our psychological health. But it's more than just, the psychological health that you get at your local psychologist. It's also from a spiritual perspective, being able to intend your reality. Your nervous system has to be healthy and grounded and functioning well. So we do need to protect that. So here are some things that I strongly recommend. Get rid of all of the toxins. And, that's easier said than done, but there's some major ones that you can definitely get rid of. And some of you may not like this, but I'm telling you from personal experience, it makes a huge difference. So first, get rid of all the intoxicants in your life, even the simple ones: tobacco, nicotine, vaping. Vaping is not, as we're finding out, is not a healthy alternative to smoking. In fact, there's some problems with that as well. Any kind of recreational chemicals, any kind of recreational drug use, THC, you put, like I said, a lot of people aren't going to like this. But it's not only important for your energy body health. We talk about that a lot. If you're not familiar with that, watch my videos about power plants. And I share some stories about how the Vedic masters actually went beyond intoxicants. The Vedic mystics used to do rituals to Indra, and they would drink soma, and it was an intoxicant that had all kinds of different intoxicants in it. They stopped doing that. In fact, they don't even know what the recipe for it was. They don't even know what it is anymore. But the reason why they stopped it is because they started to get really good at Kundalini yoga, really deep meditational practices, mantras, and things like that. And they learned how to release the DMT in the body and in the brain, open up the pineal and the pituitary gland without having to force it with the chemicals. And they found that they had much better success. So that's why, for the most part, Indian holy men do not use intoxicants. The Agoris do, but they do it for a whole different reason, and I don't recommend doing that either unless that's your karma. The Taoists also the same. They got rid of all of their intoxicants because they found that through deep qigong and neigong, internal meditation, internal meditative practices, they were able to release the DMT and have all of the powers and the experiences without any of the negative side effects. And they found that it was much more healthy to do it without. So, if recreational chemicals is something that you really want, go up here to courses.thunderwizard.com and click on Celestial Qigong. You'll know, I mean, people tell me immediately that the energy is undeniable and you'll get the same benefit without any of the side effects. So that's the first thing. Get rid of all the intoxicants because it's clogging up your nervous system and preventing you not only from thinking clearly, projecting clearly, but your nervous system is really important. Being able to have a stable, powerful, healthy nervous system is incredibly important in order to be successful in your manifestation and in life in general. All right, so next thing, this is again an obvious one, but ask yourself if you're doing it. Take a look at your diet. What are you eating? What are you drinking? I don't recommend drinking a lot of coffee, caffeinated tea. I don't recommend obvious things, like a heavy sugar diet, eating Cheetos and potato chips and, hot fudge sundaes and fried foods and all the stuff that we know isn't all that good for you. Going to more raw foods, live foods. For me, I had to get rid of all dairy products because after a while it just started clogging me up in all kinds of unpleasant ways. And, these kinds of things, it's hard to be successful in your manifestation if you're having to deal with illness all the time. There was a point in time in my 30s where I was constantly coughing and clearing my throat and getting colds and flu and all that. I can't remember the last time I had a cold or a flu. I honestly can't remember. And a lot of that has to do with I don't put stuff in my body that my body has to clean out. When you have the flu, when you have colds, for the most part, what is happening is that your body is clogged up with gunk from the food that you've been eating and perhaps other things as well. If you smoke, if you drink, those kinds of things, you get clogged up with a bunch of toxins. And what happens is the first time any virus comes at you, your nervous system says, yeah, let's cleanse. And that's why all of the goop comes out of your nose and why you cough up green stuff. It's you're cleansing. So the virus is actually kicking your immune system in because your immune system wants to clean this stuff out. And for a lot of people, it's the only time they give themselves the excuse not to smoke and drink and do all kinds of crazy things because they're sick. But your body's trying to say, let's get rid of this garbage. So diet has a big part in that. I'm not a dietitian, so don't ask me what to eat. The obvious stuff, you know. Just get away from the garbage and eat fresh, healthy food. Okay, this is important. I've found that the more years that I spend on this planet, the more helpful and important this is to me. Go break a sweat. I don't care how you do it. Break a sweat. Go to the gym. Go swimming. It's hard to sweat when you're swimming, but you get what I mean. Go take a hike. Go take up jogging. Whatever the hell it is, I don't care. Mountain climbing, tennis, ping pong. I don't care as long as it gets you to breathe and to sweat and to exert yourself. There's all kinds of feel good chemicals that come out when you exert yourself. When I went through, there's been some really tough things for me the past year and a half, as you already know. And one of the things that got me through that was going to the gym. And still to this day, when I'm sometimes just really, having a tough day and depressed, I just go to the gym. I go to the gym and I lift as hard as I can, and I come home feeling. In fact, I just got home from the gym a little while ago. I come home feeling empowered. I come home feeling optimistic, fired up. I come up with ideas. I feel successful. I feel like, I can accomplish things, and I'm excited about achieving my goals. And so, this is I think this is what we're built for this. And, depending on how old you are, you know what I'm talking about. But exercise, especially vigorous exercise, will keep you young without a doubt. And I've seen it. I know I've seen it in myself. And there are people that are my age that don't exercise and they look like they're 20, 30 years older than I am. And I don't look like a spring chicken anymore. But I'm telling you, it will save your life. So break a sweat, and it's important for me, and it may be important for you as well to keep your mood up, your give you a positive outlook. These are just basic things that you need. You can spend all day thinking about what's going on in your head, but sometimes you just need some basics, and so that's what we're focusing on today. All right, here's a big one. Get sunshine. Now, depending on where you live and what time of year it might be hard, I swear to you, I do not know what the hell is going on here in Southern California. It was 62 degrees Fahrenheit today. It's almost June. And it hasn't gotten above like 65 or 67 for 7 or 8 months. I don't know what the hell's going on. So I don't feel good if there's not a lot of sun out there. We've had some sunshine days and I've appreciated it even though it's been cold. But holy crap, man, I need that sun. If I don't get sun on my skin, if I can't see the sunlight, it's very hard for me to stay motivated and stay positive. So one of the things that sunshine will give you is vitamin D. And again, since I've been taking vitamin D every day, vitamin D3 specifically, which is what happens when you go into the sun, um, I can't remember the last time I had a virus knock on plastic. I try and stay away from sick people and all that. I don't think I'm bulletproof, but I tell you that has a lot to do with it. So get sunshine if you can. If you're not able to get sunshine, take vitamin D3. And I'll let you find out what the recommended dosage is because I'm not a dietitian or a doctor, but I take a good amount of vitamin D3 every day, and I'm really glad that I do. I've seen an improvement not only in my health but in my mood. My mood has really been lifted as a result of that. Um, Here's another one too that just came to me. Every now and then, give yourself a cleanse in terms of a water cleanse. What I mean by that is, if you can get to some clean, some clean salt water. Again, I haven't been surfing lately. It's been raining, and so I don't go in the ocean here when it rains because there's all kinds of nasty stuff in the water. But salt water is very empowering for the aura. So if you can't get to an ocean, then I recommend get some Epsom salts and put it in a bath, and bathe in it. Get that salt water on your skin, in your aura. It really does open up the aura again, and your aura and your nervous system are closely connected. And your aura is your antenna. So your intuition will go up. There's a reason why, people have those big Himalayan salt crystals. There's a reason for all that stuff. So that's something that just came to mind. All right, now, obviously, I strongly recommend doing energy work. Any kind of energy work. I have my favorite up here, which is celestial qigong, which I strongly recommend, and also any kind of mantra meditation. That's very good for the energy, but anything that connects you to life force energy is good. Yoga, meditation, qigong. I'm going to put Reiki in there. Reiki's different. Reiki is a passive energy thing. I've seen some Reiki masters that were amazing, but it's not the same. Reiki is when you're channeling energy for somebody else. You're not necessarily empowering yourself in the same way. I recommend that you empower your own physical and energetic body. Yoga, uh, any kind of meditation, qigong, um, some kinds of martial art like Tai Chi, Bagua. These kinds of things are also very good for the energy body as well, and of course, extremely good for the nervous system. Okay, get out into nature. Get out into trees and grass and green living things. This is very important. Um, if you can, if you can get to some mountains or some hills made out of granite. High mountains made out of granite have very high energy uh, output. And I can feel the difference. I love all kinds of mountains, but mountains like the Rocky Mountains, where you have a lot of metamorphic rock, it I don't feel it the same. I don't feel the energy. Up here in the local mountains here, or up in the Sierra Nevadas, the energy I can feel it is incredibly powerful. And that's because, basically these are uh, giant, huge quartz crystals. There's all kinds of other minerals in there, but they're just huge quartz crystals. And so there's a lot of power in that. So getting out into nature, pine trees. Pine trees release, I don't know what it's called, they release a chemical that is actually a mild hallucinogen, which is why if you get out into like thick evergreen, especially pine tree forests, and you breathe them in, you start to get this relaxed feeling. Now, it's very, very mild, so it's not like you're harming yourself. It's actually very good for you. But I recommend getting out into some pine trees, but any kind of green living trees will be helpful for you. Um, Here in Southern California, and where I'm going to go, eucalyptus trees or gum trees. If you're in California, you can find eucalyptus trees in a lot of places in the Southwest. They're of course not indigenous; they're planted, but grab those things and break off the leaves in your hand and smell them. It's really good. Really, really. These are all really good things for your nervous system. And I've spent a lot of time in the wilderness, and when I used to go spend like 2 weeks at a time all by myself in the middle of the Sierras, way into the backcountry, I could feel everything shifting in me on an energetic level, and my nervous system. Our ancestors used to live in that all the time. So no wonder they had access to the gods and to the spirits. No wonder they saw and experienced things we don't anymore. One of them is because they were in nature. Nature is very powerful and it's very healing to the nervous system. Um, Here's one that I need some work in. So it's one of the things I've got on my list. I got a bunch of list of things to do when I get to my new place. Social interaction. You need it. If you are like me and you are somebody who isolates, I isolate a lot. A lot of it is I like to spend a lot of time alone thinking, and I don't like to talk about surfacey garbage. And most people in cities want to talk about surfacey garbage, and I don't want to do that, so I spend a lot of time alone. But truth of the matter is that you need social interaction. You need it. It's important for you psychologically. It's important for you your hormones and pheromones and all kinds of other things that need to happen. All the communication that happens, the nonverbal communication that happens um, with people. Yeah, but it's important for your psyche, for your unconscious. You know how you reflect off of other people helps to um, helps to program your unconscious in a positive way. And that's why, again, think about the kind of people you have in your life. And I'm all for destroying relationships that don't serve you. That's one thing that I, to a fault, I'm very good at doing is when I know somebody is not a healing part of my life, and I know that I don't have anything to offer them, there's no point in continuing with those kinds of relationships. So having positive social interaction is extremely important. And finding love and all of that, that is also really good. This is why people have dogs and cats, because even having a pet is very good for you. And all of these things that I'm talking about, I'm not just talking about generally for your health. The focus is to be able to have a positive outlook so that you can keep yourself continuing to move toward your soul desire. These are all very important things for that. And last but not least, you know, listen, if you found my channel and if you found this series, it's probable that you have had some challenges when it comes to being able to manifest your soul desire, to know what your soul desire. And so, I act sort of like a pseudo counselor. I'm really not, because it's not a two-way thing. I just sort of blurt my thing out and you listen to it. But having counseling with either, a spiritual advisor, a mentor, a life coach, a psychologist, there's nothing wrong with that. It's part of how we function. The job of the shaman is to be all of those things. And so it's important to have that in your life. I do. I have somebody that I have been using for 20 years, and I use them for all of those things that I just mentioned because I realize I can't do this alone. And without that, without having that mirror, to have somebody bounce that back to you so that you can see where you need to improve and get out of your narcissism. This is what the real big thing is, to get out of your narcissism. And if you've been damaged, if you've got trauma, if you have emotional wounds, I can guarantee you that you have some narcissism, because narcissism is what we do to protect ourselves from others, those that have been harmful or are not evolved in their thinking. Narcissism keeps us protected, but the problem is that same narcissism also keeps us from evolving and looking at ourselves and being able to analyze and be honest and to move past. So I recommend that as well. And for me, that's what I offer is apprenticeship, and I apprentice you on all of those things, including that. But you don't have to work with me. Find something. Find somebody. Should have somebody. Everybody should have somebody that they look up to and bounce things off of. All right. So I said that I was going to share with you a special technique. I am going to share with you a special technique. It's something that is on the thunderwizard.com subscription, just the shamanism subscription. There's a few different techniques that I share on there, but I'm going to share with you exactly how and why you want to do this specific breath technique to balance the two hemispheres of the brain and allow you to see things more objectively, and to get you, in case you get depressed, to help you get out of feeling depressed or unmotivated or pessimistic, or whatever word you want to use. So for that, you're going to need to go to the B video, the Manifestation Mastery Course video 17B, and that will be on the Manifestation Mastery Course page, which is at thunderwizard.com. I don't have the link up here. It's just thunderwizard.com. You can go to neo.thunderwizard.com as well. And when you get there, click on Manifestation Mastery Course, and the B video with this technique will be there waiting for you. Okay, I'll see you over in the B video.